ju dashur, kthehemi me Drive Time, jeni me 103.5 FM frekuencë për këtë juve që jeni të na ndjek dhe ju që jeni online përmes radiourbanfm.com, prej Prishtinës, Tiranës deri në Amerikë, dashni pafund prej zonës parqendrës, studios numër 1 të Urban FM. Pra siç edhe paramendova gjatë ditës djeshit, po edhe sot në studio kemi dëgjues dashur më në fund ekskluzive është për Drive Time, është fjala për zëvendës presidentin e Parlamentit Evropian dhe raportuesen për Kosovën. Përveç kësaj na është edhe një prej udhëheqësve të listës Partisë Gjelbërt në Parlamentin Evropian dhe jo vetëm, jashtësisht Miss Ulrike Lunacek or how do I call you? Ulrike or Miss Lunacek?
That's fine, Ulrike.
Ulrike, welcome to Drive Time and welcome to my show and welcome to Radio Urban FM.
Thank you very much, Shuki, for inviting me to be here.
Oh,
Glad to talk to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, so I think these days are quite intensive for you here. Yeah, you've been how many days for?
That's true. I arrived Sunday noon, and I'm leaving tomorrow noon. And I've got about like from 8 in the morning until midnight meetings.
Tell me about today. Tell me how was your day today?
Okay. Well, the morning I had some very short breakfast at 8, and then at 8:15 I still had to check some emails from my office. And then at 8:15 I had a meeting with the Women's Caucus of the Assembly.
Okay.
And then I met with some of the opposition party leaders, and then I had my then I had a short video message for the COSIT conference on energy and renewables and things.
Yes.
And then I had my press conference, and then we went with the Austrian Development Agency to Sureka, and first of all to Fuškosove to see some Austrian finance projects.
So it's quite intensive, yeah?
Yeah, and but I just came back from Sureka from some organic egg farm who produces eggs, and from sheep farming, and from flower garden, all kinds of things.
To sheep and back here
they had a new lamb that was born today. It was so really such a small one.
Great. Make you some, how we call it, a godmother or something. Did you name her?
No,
you should give her some sexy pet Austrian name.
Exactly. No, we didn't ask for that.
Anyway, so it's quite intensive. I'm quite sure you're used to this, yeah, because you're active since 2007, yeah?
9 for Kosovo and European Parliament since 2009. Yeah? In general, I was a national parliamentarian before for 10 years. I was an NGO activist for 15, almost 20 years before that, and a journalist and all of that. So I'm used to busy days.
Yeah. So it's all right. Yeah,
I like it as well.
Of course, it's a condition. You know,
exactly.
It's a sacrifice we make.
Otherwise, you wouldn't survive.
So you visit Kosovo quite often, and so. When you go there, do you miss something about it?
When I come here or when I leave?
When you leave, is, for example, like, I don't know, good coffee or tea or Turkish coffee or the rubbish that we got in the street or
that I don't miss.
Atifete Yayaga's face or I don't know, someone personal, you know, or maybe some burek or whatever. What do you have for breakfast?
For breakfast, I just had some fruit and tea and nothing else. That wasn't that much.
What do you miss? Do you miss anything actually?
When I leave, well, maybe the intensity of my days. I mean, it's also intense in other days, but here it's always focusing on one topic, which is Kosovo and its path to the European Union and problems that are here and problems that are outside. So this is very, very intense in that way. Apart from that, the coffee I really miss. The coffee is really good. And every meeting you go to, you get some extra coffee, and I usually drink more tea than coffee, so sometimes my energy gets even more hyped up. So that I miss. And you know, on days like this when the weather is great, there I sort of, and in spring now this is beautiful. And you know what I really like here is people are, I mean, maybe specifically towards me, but in general, what I hear from other people as well, they're very friendly. Yeah, at least from what well, maybe not to you, but but that's what I get very often.
But you mentioned the coffee. It's kind of a ritual here, you know, especially in the spring days, because they go out there 1 and 2 and 3 and the other. Because during the night it was the only institution they used to work actually, especially for Albanians. Anyway,
and Peja beer is very good, I would say. Yeah, you have good beer.
Yeah,
and the wine has gotten a lot better, I have to say, than when I was here the first couple of years. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No,
It's
I'm
very
not.
nice.
Not all of the wines, but they are really good
Yes,
wines by now. And I know, I'm from Austria, so which is a wine-growing country, so I know that. Oh yes, sorry. And what is the other thing? What the thing we had last night to eat?
I was about to ask you that.
The food, the lamb in this cheese sauce. I forgot what the name is called. Al-Basar or something like that. Yeah, one of these one. Yeah, these kind of things. Yeah, and the shopska salad.
It's like a Valium. After you eat that,
but it's great.
You're dead. Okay, I'll tell you a story. There's many stories that happened to me. You mentioned the intensity of things, but it's the smallest place. I mean, it's the smallest place in Balkans with the smallest number of population. But there's lots of stories happening every day, especially coming from so-called normal countries where life is here. But tell me a funny story that happened to you. For example, I've had a friend of mine, and she was impressed by a thing that happened to us. We were traveling somewhere in Kosovo, and we stopped in a petrol station. And there was this guy pouring petrol in our car, but he had a cigarette lighting, So she keeps on mentioning that every time I see her. She said, "Do they still put petrol with the cigarette?" Did you have any kind of not of course the suicidal kind of stories, but any funny stories that's in your mind?
Well, one story, but maybe not so funny. One I really liked.
This was not a funny one either.
No, it's not that funny. No, but maybe one thing when I was here the first time, and a friend took me to Prizren and then all the way across the mountains to Strupce, and it was the 1st of May, and it was a beautiful day like today.
Yes.
And what was really nice, before we got down to Strupce, there was a big meadow and sort of and there were lots of cars and everybody was picnicking up there. And that was really I thought the villages must be empty and the cities around there, because almost everybody there were hundreds of people picnicking in the village, up on the mountains. That was I liked that sort of. It's an image I remember very well.
Okay, so now it's a thing that I would like to say. You're actually an activist for a member of a Green Party, and also I would like to ask you about the environment, the beautiful green environment that surrounds us every day. So tell me that
yes,
kind of...
well, that part I think really needs some improvement. I mean, now I just told you I was down south to Suvareka today, and yes. I mean here, and we were up in the mountains, and it's really, I mean, it's beautiful, the Shar Mountains around there, and it's beautiful landscape. But when I see all the plastic bags in the meadows all around the place, or plastic bottles around, and no garbage or hardly any garbage collection, that really hurts. Yeah, and I think but it starts with. I mean, I think two things have to be done. One is that there is like a garbage collection scheme, but also that people learn, and you have to educate from kids on to adults, that you don't throw away some paper just in the streets, but you put it in some garbage bin. So these kind of things that I really think, we were at this one small river there, and there was plastic and garbage all around the water, and the water was really clean and fresh, at least it looked like, but all this garbage around it. And I know there have been days of cleaning that where schools go to the river. I know there was one thing once in Mitrovica, with Mitrovica South and North together, cleaning cleaning the river.
This happened days ago.
There are these days where this is done, but I think this is something that really hurts. I mean, I don't really understand why people don't take care more of the environment, because it's something you can do in villages. You can do, schools can go and do it, and it's something that needs to be taught.
But then there are these days that you actually liked as 1st of May or something like that. This happens actually. They go. It's an awareness. It has to be inside the culture. But in general, tomorrow actually is Earth Day. So any activities? I don't know. They probably just use these days to do activities, but the rest.
But that's good to raise awareness. But we'd need an Earth Day every day.
Exactly.
And also, I mean, for example, all the issue of energy. I mean, in Kosovo, so much could be done in order to make buildings more energy efficient. You could have buildings with no need for heating and no need for air conditioning. But it needs investments. But that's where also jobs are there, jobs for young people. And when you have a situation where over the last month, or from December to February, thousands of people were leaving the country, country. It's really something where, and I told it also to the government representatives that I met. I mean, I really think that makes sense to invest there, and to do something on that,
But I think the other question, because I just traveled those days, and the thing about it was not to people leaving, but there was no reason behind it. I think they had jobs, but they quit. So my main question was, because it's a professional, disorder, why you guys are leaving? And most of them didn't actually know why. Because
what did they tell you? What did they say?
They just didn't know. It was like, it was not a material thing. It was just a loss of hope, maybe.
Yeah, but I had the impression that was also the case. I mean, I've been following, as you say, Kosovo now very closely since 2009, shortly after independence.
Yes.
And that's really this feeling of being locked in. Yeah.
Exactly.
No visa liberalization. Yeah. No. 7 years after independence, still not everybody recognizing, still not being able to participate in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes,
as Kosovo, not withdrawn initially like 3 years ago for Albania, not being able. Well, the Olympics now will be a space, but it's so slow,
But
the economic situation, all of that together.
It's a funny story, Ulrike, about I just got from these online news medias that you said like liberalization is going to happen, but you have to convince us that you're not going to leave Kosovo. Now there was this joke when Serbia entered the EU and also Albania. There was this joke around the internet that says like, who leaves last, please shut the lights down. But that didn't happen, not even with Albania, not even with Serbia or whatever, because the people who traveled are actually the people who traveled before with visas, because it takes it takes money and it's,
but I think with visa liberalization, I'm convinced about that, that then people would, I mean, many of Kosovars just want to just leave for a couple of days or months or visit some friends or something, and not everybody wants to leave the country. I mean, it's even if you don't like things about your country, you still want to live here and want to change it for the better. So I'm convinced if there's visa liberalization, I think these kind of waves of people leaving, trying to find asylum wouldn't happen. I mean, and it's also clear, also now during these months, it was criminal groups who supported that. I mean, the traffickers, they did good money about it.
Of course.
No, but that what I said in the press conference was when I said that it in the end, after Kosovo does the laws, the 9 remaining laws, then it will need to. Well, we need to convince the ministers of the interior to go ahead. And so for them, it's clear if there is again groups of Kosovars, big groups leaving the country, it will be more difficult for them to decide about it because they don't want to have many more migrants. It's not my personal position. I think European Union needs migrants, but not like it was. And that was what I referred to.
Two things. I was trying to avoid this kind of, but still, we cannot. It's a situation, right? But I think the thing is that an issue that I had with not with the Europeans but with the British visa. I said if I were on whatever illegal or I don't know criminal, I wouldn't come and ask for a visa. These people who do this kind of stuff, they just don't ask for a visa. They go illegal anyway. They
get the visas anyway.
Exactly.
They make them themselves or whatever.
Exactly.
I know. I always say I use the same argument.
But on the other hand, I think that. I say all the time in the show that I mean at least Kosovars deserve it because they are very listenable and very cultural when it comes, very polite and very open-minded when it comes to the relation with Europe, comparing to other states in the region, and yet we are being punished. I mean, it's the youngsters, huh?
Well, I think there is a real problem. I would say the problem. It shouldn't be a problem. But the issue is that Kosovo has only been a state and a republic since 2008.
Yes.
And all the administrative capacity and all of that. I mean, you had the 1990s and then until 2008, where there was no functioning country. And that's the problem. And all the other ex-Yugoslav countries are building up their administration on what was Yugoslavia. And Yugoslavia, for pure administration, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it functioned.
Of course.
So there is really something where Kosovo has a missing part.
So you're saying actually
in that sense
that we have an I say that we have an oligarchic political class in general.
No, that's not the point. No, that's not the point there. But I think there's simply the fact that Kosovo you had to build your country from scratch.
Exactly.
And this takes time.
So we've got.
So
this
you have
gap,
to catch up there.
We've got the gap.
Yes.
We had the old generation. They used to function in the Yugoslavian system. Then we have the 10-year or 15-year gap.
Exactly.
And now we have the youngsters,
new ones,
which are actually the new ones, which are actually most of them are studied abroad or something like that.
Yes,
so we're waiting for that generation.
But studying abroad is not the same as ruling a country. And And that, I mean, I know myself. I come from a party that was founded in the 1980s, yeah, and we had to learn from being protest party all the time to learn in those countries or regions where we are governing. That's a different thing, yeah. So in that sense, it's. I don't want to sort of make it as an excuse, but I try to explain sometimes when I tell people also in the European Union why what reasons are there for Kosovo lagging behind. Yeah, it's something that isn't your fault either. Yeah, but it's simply a fact. Yeah, but that's also one of the reasons why Kosovo still has needed some more time to get visa liberalization. I personally, if you ask me personally, I would have given Kosovo's visa liberalization with the other ones. Yeah, but because I think it would be a way of motivating also Kosovo to go ahead. But it will come, I would say. Soon after, I would say, hopefully next year. Let's put it that way. Okay. Hoping that.
So I've got, I'm fine. I've got the visa for 2 years. So okay.
Great.
Now, but so you're not saying, but most of the European countries are saying that the biggest problem is corruption. Is it the main problem here? But you also have corruption. You've had corruption in Bulgaria,
in Austria, in my own country.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So is it the biggest problem? Why we not?
I think it's one of the problems, but it is a problem because it is there is also corruption at a very high level. Things like public procurement, tenders that are being done, and I think that is. I mean, the new government, as your Prime Minister told me yesterday, that now public procurement will be very transparent and in very transparent form and publicized. I mean, that will help because transparency is the first step towards ending corruption. Yeah?
All right.
But yes, I think I know there is a problem, but there are similar problems in other countries of the region and also inside the European Union. We have big corruption cases in Austria now that are being put to courts. So it's not. I think the problem here is that there hasn't been enough done also from the side of the government to really make sure that corruption, especially at high level cases, is not something that pays off.
Exactly.
Yeah? That there really needs to be a change of mindset. Yeah, that you don't just go around buying favors. Yeah, and getting rich with it. I think that is something. If at the high level corruption is being ended, then also for sort of simple people, it's not something you do as everyday thing. And also, let me say one more thing. I mean, issues like your health system here, that is also from what I hear very often in hospitals or so, you're expected to pay for what you need and get favors. I think that I hope it will get better with having a health insurance system that works for everybody. I hope so. Yeah, I don't know all the details, but that would be necessary.
But before I just make a break with one beautiful Austrian song, I would like to. But you say the political class in general. This is what happens in the high levels and stuff. But the students, the artists, the journalists, the professional people are getting punished for it. So there is no how to say reliefs in procedures about this kind of guy, professional guys or students in need, to get a visa or to get visa at least.
I have to tell you, I was trying to get some kind of agreement with some of the EU member states, also with my own, to have like special arrangements for students, artists, etc. for visa. To make it more easy for them. Didn't work. Sorry. I haven't been a part of government yet.
You're an artist, but sorry.
I'm not. Exactly. No. I find it, and I mean, many people in general, people very often don't know. And I think hardly anybody in the EU can imagine yet what that means. That you can only travel to, I mean, how many countries without visa? 4 or 5? Albania, Macedonia, Turkey. Turkey, and that's about it. I mean, that's difficult to imagine. And I also always tell people, during Yugoslavia, you could travel to every country in the world except maybe 3 or 4. And this is. I mean, your grandparents could do that. And you cannot. Your parents. Sorry.
Instead of buying a EU passport, they used to sell Yugoslavian passports.
Okay. Well. But that is something I feel that people need to understand. Also that's why we're pushing, and also with Mrs. Mogherini now, I think there is
she better than the old one?
Well, I mean, Lady Ashton really had the problem of having to set up the whole European External Action Service and starting anew.
I've got a question. Why do all the, especially powerful women in politics like Hashim Thaçi, Starting from Madeleine Albright.
I don't know. I haven't asked her.
But what's your personal opinion about it? I will really, because I do stand up.
I don't think I'm going to tell you my personal opinion on that.
He has at least it looks in the media. He has a very warm relation with all of these ladies. No,
I don't know.
You don't know.
That I've never been around.
Do you like him as a pleasant guy too?
No, I think, I mean, with many people in functions, I sort of, because of the function I have, it's more an issue of function that you have to, I speak to them, and with some it's easier than with others. Those, people who have humor are always easier to, even if I don't like if I might not like their political positions, but if it's relaxed, so that's fine. Well, I won't go into details on that.
Now, let's cut it, please. Let's go with Wolfgang Ambros and the song from Austria. It's Goulash and Sepia, yeah? Which means goulash and sausage.
Yes.
Beautiful. Goulash
and a Seidel beer.
A Seidel beer? No, it's a small glass of beer.
Yeah,
small,
it's okay. Very good. We have
goulash and a small glass of beer.
Maybe later we'll have some goulash.
Enjoy it. Yes.